Four Nights of the Apocalypse Chapter 94 is out. Oh man, it feels so good to be back. About a month now, I have not had a video uploaded, due to many circumstances. Primarily the fact that my channel was basically almost disabled due to copyright strikes from old Hunter x Hunter videos and a Bungo Stray Dogs video that I did a few weeks prior, so I was unable to upload for a full 2 weeks. So I am 3 chapters behind on this channel. I'm going to be starting with Chapter 94 of Four Nights of the Apocalypse as to keep up my usual schedule, since the channel, I believe, is back at this point of me recording. But if you guys want to hear my thoughts on Chapters 91, 92, and 93, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see if I can make like some type of shorts video giving the key points in those chapters, or I'll just make like a short catch-up video type review thing, since I'm basically starting with the lead up from the last 2 chapters. But without further ado, let's just hit that intro and get right into the chapter. So chapter 94, the Four Nights of the Apocalypse, titled Incident on the Night of Prayer. And I gotta say right away, this chapter, really nice. Not the best chapter, but it had some really fun moments. The previous chapters had some really nice character interactions. This one, and I think the ending is what really gets me interested in this arc. So for a quick, brief recap, the main group ended up going to this place called Walnack during the night of its Festival of Dead. Tristan ends up getting into a room with a mysterious stranger. She mentions him by name, and the two of them leave the inn together. And now everyone's out here for the festival. Meanwhile, 2 of Arthur's assassins are after the Four Knights. Okay, brief overview. Alright, so this chapter starts with the townspeople lighting flames in order to honor the fallen, as they give to Percival and the gang. And really quick, this is just something that, due to the English translation, it's not really a thing, not really like as clear, because I think you have to be like, it's kind of a thing, play on words with Japanese, with Donnie saying, let's go hard on this, and apparently in the translator notes, Donnie says something called, Chinkonsai, Festival of the Dead, and Percival thinks thinks he hears Chinko, which is wiener. So, it's a dick joke. Did I explaining the joke make that funny? Well, I still think it's funny. But anyway, so we move on. We see the people looking over at the fire of their torches, and Tristan is having the conversation with the mysterious lady, as he brings up the fact that she mentioned him by name, a prince at that, and it kind of made him feel very uneasy. Tristan, very perceptive person, and knew not to drag everyone else involved in this, just so we can see what is going on and so we can investigate. He even thinks of the possibility that the innkeeper could have been a spy, but he can't really think of a reason why he'd give the identity of a roommate to one of the people in the room. So he ends up asking if she's a human from Camelot. She says that her name is, I'm going to butcher this name, but let's see if I can do this. Eoladio Wellwedger, or Io for short. Let's just call her Io, or Io. I'm gonna go with Io. But anyway, she basically says, did you know, Your Highness, this festival, it began as a way to memorialize those who lost their lives in attacks on Leonis from other countries, like with bandits and scoundrels like that. And Tristan brings up, yeah, he knows, but now it's more of just a way for people to pray for the fallen families, friends, and loved ones that lost their lives in the Holy War 16 years ago. That way they don't forget the departed. Io says that it's a lovely custom, but it's not something that she'd find in her own hometown, as she motions her head to have Tristan follow her down an alleyway. As we get this nice big overview of the town with everybody in their torches like passing through all the streets. This is actually really nice. This is actually a really nice illustration. It shows a bit more types of culture and festivals in Britannia as a whole, because as much as I love the 7 Deadly Sins, we didn't really get into how different towns can have different traditions, or even different kingdoms can have different traditions. So having this one walled off city have its own real tradition like this, it's actually really nice for the world building for this whole series, and I'm very thankful for it. But we then get a page of Team Percival thinking about the ones that they've lost, Donnie thinking about his mother and just basically hoping that she's proud of him because he finally became a holy knight. Anne is asking her mother to watch over her, and Percival is just telling his grandfather that he's fine and not to worry about him. and that he finally found precious friends that he trusts with his heart and lives with. But then he motions over and notices that Nazianz isn't really going to be praying because, well, he literally just says he's actually, out of everyone here, he's lucky enough not to have lost anyone close to him. He doesn't even know who his birth parents are, but he's like, I don't have any special feelings for them anyway. But then Cheon comes in barking like a mad dog, and at this point, he is acting like a ravenous fan. But it's kind of funny, if I'm being honest, because Isolde's there. And obviously, she worries for Tristan. I mean, look, jokes aside, even though Cheon is being very overdramatic with this, he is acting, this is very painful to say, he's acting like a good concerned friend would in this situation. If one of your best friends ends up with someone that they just met and they go off away from everyone in the middle of a giant town, you're going to worry. So I gotta give this to Cheon on this one, unfortunately. But I can accept that because obviously Isolde is also incredibly worried. And then Donnie's being honestly a pervert, realizing that Tristan left with a woman, and he's like, oh, you lucky womanizer, you. And then based off that one image of Anna, I feel like she's the one that punched Donnie's lights out in that split second between panels. Which, Donnie, you kind of had that coming. I'm sorry, bud, but you kind of had that one coming. We then see that the two assassins that Arthur sent are looking over them. And apparently, they can't sense the magic power of the kids, and it's a two-way streak. Something's been at work interrupting magic power in this whole town. But the man with shades, who his name is Macduff, he states that thanks to that, they can easily get close to them without drawing any sort of suspicion. And then the woman, Tianich, I'm definitely pronouncing her name wrong, states that they're going to split them up. Isolde takes on to go look for Tristan, as she is very concerned. Donnie's kind of being what I would be in this situation towards Cheon, being like, well, I guess if you ask nicely, we can help you search, right? And Cheon begrudgingly asking Donnie for help is hilarious. I love it. And Nazian just goes over to Jade, being like, yeah, let's go search together. And Jade's like, yeah, let's go. Honestly, this was like a thing that happened in the previous chapter, but Jade had a nice conversation with Donnie and Nazian, so I like that he's warming up to the gang and starting to slowly become friends with them. I like it. But yeah, as everyone's going off in their own groups to search for Tristan, Lancelot and Gawain are basically just thinking that this is a pain, just choose not to. Lancelot says, I'm just going to go back to the inn in case they come back there. And Guinevere says, I can't be bothered to be searching for a man. I like that the two of them literally had the exact same thought, and thinking that just searching for Tristan in this town is just a big pain in the butt. Probably even more so a pain in the butt for Lancelot, since he can read minds in this town for some reason, since something's been off with his powers for some reason. So he probably figured it'd be his best shot for to find Tristan at back at the inn. And Lance is Tristan's best friend, childhood friend, so he probably knows Tristan the best out of all of them. Or he's just being lazy. Either way, I don't care. It's Lancelot. But just as the assassins are getting ready to launch a surprise attack on the group, Lancelot brings up to ask Gawain something, and she mentions, you mean the strange feeling you've had since we came to this place? Lancelot asks if Gawain could use Absolute Cancel to just stop this magical power around this city interfering with everything. And she's like, it makes me tired, so yeah, I'm not going to do it. Then Lancelot says, yeah, I'll treat you to pudding, and Gawain literally just like, deal. The fact that you'll drop anything for pudding is honestly kind of hilarious. But anyway, she chants a spell and casts Absolute Cancel, basically dispelling this magical barrier around the town. And then in that instance, everybody notices a sudden influx of magical power. And Tristan realizes, is this everyone's magic power? But Io says that someone probably lifted the magical power that was cast on the town, but it's no use, as the barrier ends up returning over the town once more, referring to it as jamming, and it's her power, stating that as of now, a magical power nullifies all magical detection within Walnock. So she's the one that's been messing with everyone's magic power detection and Lancelot's mind-reading ability, since that kind of falls under the same category as magic sensing. She says that within such a momentary interval, even Tristan's allies won't be able to find his location. My gut feeling is that Lancelot's probably going to figure this out, because in that split second, he probably got a good read of the situation. Maybe I'm just overhyping Lancelot here, but it's Lancelot. Come on. You gotta give me that. But anyway, Tristan says it's not as long as you keep casting that spell. Is that what you're saying? And then Io basically mentions, oh yeah, I never answered that question from earlier. So to answer it, I'm not on Camelot's side, but I'm not a human either. As her form begins to seemingly disintegrate, as we see a demonic creature appear where Io is, showing her true form, with Tristan believing that she is actually a demon. Ending the chapter with the final word being stated, what does the unreadable Io want? So yeah, that's an interesting thing. She is a demon, or at least we're led to believe she's a demon. For all we know, she could be a chaos creature or a demon hiding from the Chaos Knights, for all we know. There's a few things to think about when it comes to this, but overall, pretty decent chapter. Got a good mystery. We know immediately what that thing, that weird feeling on Lancelot is, and some honest to God, good old groups splitting up to find a friend, and they're gonna end up fighting the main villains individually. I'm honestly very happy with this, and if I'm being honest, I can't wait for next week. Four Nights has honestly been really good. I'm glad that even though we got confirmation from Nakaba back in like chapter 89, 88, that the group's gonna be splitting up into like 3 different pairs. But I'm just glad we're getting this one arc for now, where everyone's gonna be in the exact same group. I'm very happy for that. And I'm curious to see where this is going to lead, because we have Tristan and Lancelot there in particular, and they're basically the strongest characters in the series right now. And I honestly think that Lancelot is on the level of the Sins. Tristan is probably on the level of the Sins were like around the Holy War arc, if I'm being completely honest with you guys right here. I could be highballing him, but that's my honest opinion. What Io wants, I'm honestly very curious as to why she chose Tristan in particular. It could honestly be because he is Meliodas' son, which leads into one little theory that I have. She could potentially be a servant of Zeldris and has come to Tristan to ask for help. And then we can get Zeldris and Gilda into the story, and then we'll meet Tristan's cousin if Zeldris and Gilda did have a kid. I'm betting they have a kid. But yeah, that would be a good way to introduce Zeldris in the story. Even though we're still relatively early on, it'd be nice to get an idea of what's going on with like the demon realm or something, because I know we're going to the Fair King's Forest, we're going to somewhere else around Camelot, and then we're going to go to Benwick with Lancelot. So it'd be nice to get like a demon realm arc or some alluding to what Zeldris has been up to in the last 16 years. But yeah, that was the chapter. I honestly have to say this was a really interesting chapter. I wouldn't say it was my favorite out of the whole bunch, but I just like that brief Gawain-Lancelot interaction, Xion begrudgingly asking the rest of the group for help, Tristan being very competent as I expected him to be, and assessing the situation quickly and trying to figure out what's going on and the motives of this mysterious woman, and obviously that demon reveal at the end of this chapter. Really nice setting up for what's to come, and I don't think this arc's going to be too long unless something else is going to happen. Now that Arthur kind of expects things to somewhat go wrong, and we already see fate changing because Lancelot was the one that was supposed to be in that other room and not Tristan. So let's see how things are going to seemingly change from this prediction that Gawain had and what the consequences are going to end up being for seemingly altering fate. But yeah, that was my thoughts on the chapter. What did you guys think? Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. Thoughts, opinions, theories, that I miss anything from the chapter that I should have mentioned, or if there's anything that you could think of for the reason why Io is doing what she's doing and how this arc's going to play out. And with all that said and done, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help, and it shows you guys enjoy the content on my channel. I'm going to keep doing Four Nights videos as always, and I've got other stuff planned for this year that I really want to do. By the time this video is up, I should have had my first JoJo's Bizarre Adventure type video going. I want to do JoJo's videos. I'm going to start reviewing Part 9 as well, since that's a monthly thing, and I'm going to be doing some JoJo's videos over the course of the year. So I hope you guys enjoy that as well, because I just enjoy JoJo's, and I want that to be a part of the channel, as well as Four Nights and what else I'm covering on the channel. But with all that out of the way, hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all have an awesome day.